There's a big problem with much of the business school education. And it's this problem is really unusual. And I'm stumbling on how to get my words out to explain this. It's because it's effective. It actually works. It does its intended thing. And I want to explain what do I mean by this and why this is actually a problem. The problem of efficiency is that you can build a lot of widgets and you can make a lot of things if you focus on efficiency. And so the story goes in most business schools is that is the key focus. It's designed to produce as many widgets, as many cars as you possibly can get off the line. And now this structure has been played out not only within how we teach things, but also within the entire structure of how business schools are actually set up, or how higher education in general is set up. We know this to be the case because it was modeled basically after the efficiency gains that we had during World War II. Now, why is this a problem? It's highly effective. It does the thing that it's supposed to do. Why is this a problem? I want you to think about all of the things that matter in your life. Like truly matter, right? Family, friends, having a good laugh, having a beer, anything in your life that you would say, this is something that is important to me. None of those things are discussions about efficiency. And it's a really strange thing if you think about this. And I have this exercise all the time, and I ask students, is how do you measure love? How do you measure love of your dog? Is it the number of times that you pet your dog? Is it the number of times that your dog's tail wags? All of these things make no sense. And so there's a lot of things in this world that are squishy, that you cannot put a label on, but those are the things that are ultimately the most important. And so we're faced with this challenge of efficiency. It works, things get done. But at the same time, we're very hollow in how we treat the world. And we treat it in a very mechanistic way, where the only job, the purpose of being human, the purpose of our lives is the fact of actually accomplishing things. Now, there's a long history in why this is actually the case, but it comes back to where we actually get meaning. What does that mean? And if you were to derive meaning from your work, you'll realize that you don't really get a lot of meaning in those circumstances. So what can we do? What's the solution? I'm all about solutions and alternatives. The truth is that we often have to pursue things that make no sense, no rational sense, and you have to be okay with that. Now that means, because the entire system is institutionalized, everybody knows what it looks like. They are going to tell you what is right and wrong, what is morally right and wrong. But you as a person have to often do things that just feel right for you. It's this idea of finding your why, as Simon Sinek talks about. And I love that idea. It's not about anything in terms of making things, but it's about finding why you do the things that you do. Now, this might be doing really unusual things that people do not consider as valid. And if you look at all of the people that have made major insights and have changed the world and have very much been the basis for new things, it's because they pursued something that they just loved. There was no reason for it. Love is such a squishy, kind of ridiculous thing, but it matters. They just do it because they do it. And I want you to think about all those things. As if you are being told to do things, this is the way it should be, and this is how the structure is, I'm going to tell you this. That's going to be all out the window in 10 years or 20 years. Nobody knows what it should be. It all is different. The world changes. And the only thing that you can go by deep down inside is those feelings of, do I like this? Do I feel like I'm a good person? Am I intended to do this? And none of these things are like, there's no efficiency to any of that. There's nothing about that that makes sense. And yet that is often the right thing to do, is to pursue things for the sake of pursuing it, rather than thinking about that you're going to be the most efficient, most accomplished, most productive person that ever existed. That's kind of a silly goal anyways. In a world, you can be the most efficient typewriter producer today and do a really good job out of it. But does that matter today? Likely not. You had to change with the times. You had to do things because it was a passionate thing. IBM was very good at making typewriters or machines, but now they've had to change. They've had to do things and allow people to do things that follow their passion, that talk about things that are really squishy, like passion and love and all of those kind of things. I just want you to think about the world a little bit differently. It's not just about getting things done. Never has been, never will be, but it's about figuring out who you are. And that's the most important thing.